What's going on, ChavezzSlovakia? So, instead of doing fun facts, I thought, what if we just found some bad facts? And when you type in bad facts, you get what are some not fun facts, which sounds like a dumb way to say it, but it's like, okay, I get what you mean. All right, my brother should be here later at some point today, and we might go get some food. What's up, Jay?
Yo, what's good?
That's him. You're not coughing in that, are you? Alright, man, I'll holla. Peace. So that's that plan. So let's check it out. Some not fun facts.
r/ask Reddit by Reddit and chill. What are some not fun facts? Newborn harp seals have 10 days before they are abandoned by their mother. They need to learn how to swim before the ice melts so that they won't drown. I saw a documentary that covered this. It was amazing. Little dude was scared but finally went in the water. He spent a couple weeks around the same hole in the ice, while he learned how to extract air from bubbles trapped under the ice shelf. Then he was off into the world.
Just like that.
Whiskey distiller Jack Daniel couldn't remember his safe combination and kicked the safe in frustration. Got an infection in his toe that killed him.
What?
Mothers
That's
will
pretty
only
good.
raise one chick. So when 2 eggs are laid, the mother will leave the nest to let them hatch. When those eggs hatch, one is always aggressive and violent, and the other chick is always the timid and sensitive one.
So it
The
kills it,
violent
huh?
one immediately rushes out of the egg to assault the timid one on sight.
Yeah.
When the mother comes back to see the aftermath, the timid one limps to its mother for comfort and protection. The mother then takes her time beating the timid one to death with her bill, until it's nothing but a mangled lump of meat and bones,
The way
and raises the aggressive chick.
the way he
I
said
saw this
that.
in a Netflix documentary on the animals of Africa. David Attenborough actually had to manifest into corporeal form after the end of that particular scene to console the viewer and remind us that nature can be scary as ducks sometimes.
Dude, it's like, alright, it's not funny, right? It's not funny. But like, why would you expect it to be nice if the aggressive one is clearly going to live? Obviously the mother at some point was the aggressive one. Why are you limiting me, nigga? This is life. You dead, son. Yeah, that's a not fun fact. I'll give that to you. That's not fun at all.
Words and shit. Edit II. For those asking the name of the dog, it was called Africa and was made by BBC back in 2013. I just found out an hour ago that it's no longer on Netflix.
Ooh, that hurts.
RadioTimes.com link. Edit II. Don't know why I'm using Roman numerals. They don't always kill the weak one by beating it.
Okay.
Sometimes they just ignore it and let it die of
Oh,
starvation or
okay.
dehydration.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is actually what ends up happening in the documentary scene I mentioned. Youtube link. This is even more terrifying if you know what the animals look
Oh, Jesus.
like. Their beaks are huge and insanely sharp at the tip. If you're attacked by a bear, it won't necessarily try to kill you like other predators would. It just starts eating.
Yeah.
To add to this,
That's
it
very,
also
yeah.
depends on the bear. A little rule of thumb is the following depending on the type.
Okay,
If it's
sure.
black, fight back. Black bears typically don't want to fight and will often run away in a confrontation. If it's brown, lay down. Grizzlies are the same. Humans don't make a good meal for them. And if they don't see you as a threat, they won't try to actively kill and eat you. If it's white, good night. Polar bears don't give a shit and will eat you. Running, laying down, or trying to fight back won't help you. Best advice is to discard an article of clothing while running in hopes they'll stop to investigate.
Ah, that's pretty good, yeah.
There is a whale that has been searching for a mate for the last 5 years. It has been wholly unsuccessful because its voice is a different frequency than other whales.
Oh.
So much so that whales run from it.
Oh.
This is so sad, WTF.
Wow.
If you're going to be murdered, chances are very good you've already met your killer.
Ah.
From an old
Thanks for
comment
that.
of mine that
Thanks for
fits
that.
this question. The Challenger astronauts didn't die when the shuttle exploded. The stack actually just broke apart under aerodynamic stress, and the explosion you thought you saw was just the expanding cloud of hydrogen from the external tank burning. The forces involved in the breakup were very survivable. The crew cabin was left intact after it separated from the rest of the orbiter and may not have depressurized. There's evidence to suggest some or all of them were conscious at least part of the way down, if not the entire time. And photography of the disaster shows the cabin falling without spinning in a nose down attitude, meaning no excessive forces to knock them out.
Oh wow, yeah.
The
That means they
impact
just
with the
would've-
ocean was what actually killed them. It took 2 minutes and 45 seconds from breakup to impact.
Jesus
It's possible
Christ.
that some or all of them were conscious and aware the whole time.
Wow.
In high school, my science teacher was chosen to be in the Teachers in Space program for the Challenger. She went through the training and got a jumpsuit from NASA and had pictures with the crew and knew them all personally. She wasn't chosen to be aboard the Challenger but witnessed it in person and watched her friends die. She was given a piece of a white panel which she held a torch to during her lecture and then passed it around to show how it reflects heat.
That was not fun at all. That was a very unfun fact. That was very
There are
sad.
most likely
Jesus
people that
Christ.
are stranded at sea or in the desert right now that will probably never be found. I wonder about this sometimes.
Yeah, I do too,
Or
actually.
how
about
many
that.
kidnapping victims there are out there who just want to go home. So sad. Demodex mites live in the pores of your skin and eat your dead skin cells and oils.
Awesome.
They also climb out at night and have a gangbang on your face. Worst part, you're not even invited.
That's kind of cool.
Thanks.
Besides the gangbang
Wasn't
part.
planning
That's
on
pretty.
sleeping tonight anyway.
Yeah, that besides the sex part, the
Until
eating
the
part is kind of cool.
1980s, babies weren't put on painkillers during surgery. It was believed
Yep.
they didn't feel pain. Man. Leaded gasoline and baby torture. What else is there from the mid-20th century that made people go nuts? Cystic is when a tapeworm manages to lodge itself inside your brain, causing big cysts to form in your head, causing headaches and seizures.
Skip was watching that one show again. Damn, I keep wanting to say it's General Hospital, but it's definitely not General Hospital. But she was like watching that one, right, dog? And the guy, they had like this animation of this guy going into a dude's brain to like grab a worm out of his brain, but like the cyst popped, so the homie almost died from the cyst popping. She was wild.
About 20 years ago, my mom caught this disease. We lived in an area where the food wasn't properly cleaned and my parents used to buy it from local markets on dirty alleys. So presumably after she ate some lettuce contaminated with eggs from those markets, she ended up having headaches that wouldn't go away and later found out she had cysticercosis. Even here where we live, Brazilian Northeast, it was a pretty rare disease, so I remember being scared. The cysts had to be removed through surgery and she lost part of her sense of smell, but other than that she's still completely fine today.
That's kind of
Only
cool.
feels pain when it's too cold because of the screws from the surgery. Her swift recovery was a surprise to the doctor and he ended up publishing an article about her treatment in the UK. To this day she doesn't let us eat vegetables in suspicious places and cleans everything like our lives depend on it.
Yeah.
There is a genetic disorder that causes your body to replace your muscle tissue with bone over time.
Huh.
Edit. For those who are wondering, it's called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva.
I kind of want to look it up, but I'm scared of what I'm gonna find, so I'm not gonna.
FOB. And currently there is no cure for it. Also, it's a genetic disorder, not a disease. Me apologies for those I confused with it. Edit 2. So I misunderstood. Again, it is a disease.
It is a disease.
Just
Okay.
not a contagious disease.
Got it.
Is this disease where eventually you sort of freeze? So at some point you have to decide if you want to be sitting or laying for the rest of your life. Male dolphins have been observed to gang rape females. Kill
Yes.
dolphin babies that are not their own so their mums are available again.
Again,
And for
yes.
absolutely no reason other than entertainment, brutalize porpoise young. Kill dolphin babies that are not their own so their mums are available again. To be fair with them, there's a lot of animals that do that.
True, but people have romantic views of
The
dolphins, which is
optimal
why it's
height
still
to hang
so
someone is
terrifying.
between 3 and 5 meters.
Why in
The
God's
point of hanging
name?
isn't to suffocate the victim. It's to break their neck. Any
Oh.
less than the rope will strangle them to death, and any more they have a chance of being decapitated. That scene at the end of Sherlock Holmes, spoiler, where Lord Blackwood falls off
Oh,
London Bridge
right.
and gets hanged by a chain would actually have
Yeah,
ripped
we ripped his head off.
clean
Yeah, I talked to my
Edit.
mom about that.
Spelling.
Yeah, I talked to my
Banana
mom about that.
republics
She
were
didn't
coined in
appreciate
the
that.
book Cabbages and Kings. About small countries based around single exports that were taken advantage of by large corporations. That company taking advantage of them for the book rebranded and is now called Chiquita. Also standard fruit which became Dole. the Great
Jesus
Molasses
Christ.
Flood, sometimes referred to locally as the Boston Massacre,
Ah,
occurred
yeah.
on the 15th of
Wait,
January,
we heard about that from Salmonella.
1919, in the North End neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts. 21 people drowned in a wave of hot molasses. Horrible event, but I can't help but to laugh at Boston Massacre. Goats apparently have the most human-like vaginas of all animals.
That is not information that anybody needed to know. Stop it right now, immediately.
I don't want to know how you figured that out. Conorak Synthasamphone, who had escaped Jeffrey Dahmer, was killed shortly after he was returned to Jeffrey Dahmer's care by police.
Jesus
Like
Lord.
a fly caught in a spider's web. Once Conorak was unconscious, Dahmer put his twisted plan into action. According to his disposition testimony, he drilled a small hole in the back of Synthasamphone's cranium and injected hydrochloric acid into the frontal lobes of his brain.
Oh my
SMH.
Lord.
There once was a person that had a 300% mortality rate when he did his surgery.
What?
io9gizmodo.com link.
What?
That one is wild. Over
What?
300 people are believed to have jumped from the World Trade Center on 9/11.
Yeah.
One of the falling bodies killed a fireman at the scene. On top of that, there are still over 1,000 victims whose remains have not been found. The youngest
was
girl
awful.
to ever give birth was 5 years, 7 months, and 21 days old. In Wikipedia org link. He was raised believing that Medina was his sister, but he found out at age 10 that she was his mother. I can't imagine what that conversation would have sounded like.
If I can remember to cut that one out, I definitely am. That's not staying
Adults
in.
eat their babies if stressed out. Mice and rats will cull their litter if they don't feel that conditions are good enough to raise their children in.
That is very true, but that is one of the reasons why they are so hard to get rid of, because they will basically never overpopulate. They'll just move or die.
The Parrilla was one of the most barbaric forms of torture ever devised.
What is it?
Using electric shocks while the victim was secured to a metal frame to cause unimaginable pain. How about that bullshit? Edit. Let me try and phrase that better. The iron ball where you're trapped inside. Limited air. Stuck in what's possibly a horribly uncomfortable position in a thin crevice. Probably broken body parts to get you to fit in there.
Ugh.
And then a fire is lit under the ball.
Oh yeah.
Suffocating and burning the person alive. That's the worst form of torture I've ever read of.
Yeah.
Edit 2. Alphatsinteresting.com link. Thought you were shoved into a horizontally thin crevice. Whoops.